Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. And as you can see by the title, this is gonna be another healthy weekly meal prep. If you've been following my journey, you already know I always meal prep each week just to make sure I am staying on track and being consistent. If you are new here, welcome. My name is DeeDee. I've been able to lose 95 pounds by following essentially a low carb way of eating. But lately, I've been more so focused on foods that will help me stay consistent, but also that support my overall wellness. I'm talking about hormonal health, gut health, eating fiber-rich foods, and just making sure that they taste good so I can stay on track. Now, today's ingredient meal prep is not complicated whatsoever. Y'all already know I love building simple meals from my ingredient prep, and I'll share with you at the end of the video what mix and match meals I have in mind for today's meal prep. All right, let's talk about today's menu. For our proteins, I have me some tender, juicy oven-baked turkey wings. You know, I had to pull those out. I also have some tasty ground turkey crumbles that I can mix and match and make a lot of meals with. I also have some thin sliced pork chops that I pan-seared on the stove, and baby, we're gonna mix and match those as well. For our veggies, I have some sautéed cabbage and some broccoli stir fry. Y'all, this week's meal prep is going to hit. All right, enough chit chat, let's jump right into the meal prep. For my prep this week, the turkey wings are what's gonna take the longest to cook. So that's where I'm gonna start, y'all. I love to start off with what takes the longest. The first thing I'm doing is slicing up the veggies that are gonna be creating the base of my baking dish. So I just cut up some green onions, I'm cutting up some green bell pepper, I'm also using some red bell pepper, some orange bell pepper, and also a half of a huge onion. Now, if you've been following my journey, you know that I usually place all of my veggies on top of the protein. But this time is something different, y'all. As you can see, I'm placing everything on the bottom. And the reason is because these turkey wings are gonna cook for about 2.5 hours, and I do not want the veggies burning. So I'm adding 1 cup of broth, and I'm also adding 1 cup of water just to add that moisture in the pan. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add those turkey wings on top. Those turkey wings are huge. I'm adding the ends as well. And I got these from my local butcher, y'all, on sale. And I make them from time to time because they are delicious and they are a comfort food for me. So now all I'm doing is placing my staple seasonings all over this turkey wing. I'm also adding some extra paprika, some Creole seasoning, and I added some red cayenne pepper. Now, y'all already know what my staple seasoning blend is, but I love to share just in case you're new to my channel. It's a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, some black pepper, a little bit of Creole seasoning and salt, and some paprika. I love that extra flavor that my seasonings add. So after seasoning both sides of these turkey wings, I'm adding 1 more cup of broth to the edge of those wings. And you can see right there, I'm not placing it over the turkey wings because I want that seasoning to stay right there. I do not want it to wash away. Next, I'm placing about 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm placing those pieces around the pan. I'm adding some aluminum foil tightly over the pan, and my oven has been preheating to 375 degrees, and those turkey wings are going in for about 1.5 hours. Now, while those turkey wings are cooking, I'm moving on to my next protein, and today I'm making thin sliced pork chops. So I always start off by drizzling just a little bit of olive oil on them, and then I'm making sure that olive oil is mixed all up and through, and then I'm adding my staple seasonings on there generously, and then I'm going through each pork chop individually because I want every bite to have that flavor. Now, once everything is seasoned very well, it is time for the skillet. I did put some olive oil in that skillet, and all I'm doing here is placing each pork chop in and giving it a little bit of room. I do not want to overcrowd that skillet. I'm letting it cook for about 3 to 4 minutes per side because remember, they are thin pork chops, okay? And take a look at that nice brownness when I flip it over. So what I'm doing here is allowing the next side to also cook for about 3 to 4 minutes to give it that nice color. And once that's complete, that is what the pork chops look like. They are seasoned beautifully and they are nicely browned. So what I'm gonna do is repeat the process for the next batches. I have 2 more batches to complete. I know I've already showed you the process, so y'all, it's nothing different. Make sure you are leaving room in your skillet and cooking it for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. You can also grab a thermometer to make sure that your meat is fully cooked. After completing all 3 batches, that is what our full ingredient prep pork chops look like. Y'all, they smell absolutely amazing. I'm placing them to the side, and it is time for one of my favorite vegetables, y'all, the cabbage. So I start off by cutting around the core and removing it. And then I just slice up the entire head of cabbage. I never worry about it too much, about everything being perfectly uniform, okay? It does not have to be the same size because if you ever cook cabbage, you know it starts off taking up the whole entire pan and then it cooks down significantly. So I'm done slicing up my cabbage pieces. Now I'm moving over to the stove. I'm using the same skillet that I just made the pork chops in because I don't want to waste those flavors, okay? I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil and then I added all of that cabbage. I'm mixing everything together and just making sure that oil is disseminated all the way through. Now we're gonna let this cabbage cook for about 7 minutes. All I'm gonna do is add that top to it and we'll be back. So after about 7 minutes, you can see right here, the cabbage has cooked down so nicely. So you already know now we need some flavor to that cabbage. We don't want no bland cabbage, okay? So all I'm doing here is just adding in my staple seasonings, and that's it for this cabbage, y'all. That's all I'm doing. Then I'm gonna mix everything nicely just to make sure that seasoning is thoroughly through that cabbage. I know the texture that I'm looking for, but definitely whatever texture you're looking for your cabbage, make sure you make that. I'm gonna place the lid back on for another 7 to 8 minutes. Now, while that cabbage finishes cooking, let's check on those turkey wings. They have been in the oven for about an hour and a half. And y'all, these turkey wings smell amazing. Now, I just don't want them to be full of flavor. I want them to be falling off the bone. So I'm flipping every turkey wing over, and we want to make sure we're flipping over those smaller pieces too. I am placing that aluminum foil right back on there, and they are headed right back in the oven for another 45 minutes. Let's check on the cabbage. This cabbage has been cooking for a total of about 15 minutes, and this is the texture that I want. It is tender, it is flavorful, and it's not too mushy, okay? But definitely cook it to the texture of your liking. Now, I still see a few larger pieces, so I am breaking them apart, and they are practically falling apart on their own. That's how I know the cabbage is just what I'm looking for. Just like that, our cabbage is done. Now it's time for our final protein. Today I'm using 85/15 ground turkey, and because ground turkey can sometimes be a little dry, I did spray the bottom of that skillet with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. So now all I'm doing is breaking it apart. Y'all know with ground meat, you want to make sure you're breaking it apart, okay? You do not want meatballs if you're not making meatballs. So just break that thing apart. And then I'm putting my staple seasonings on there, and I'm also adding that Goya total seasoning just for flavor. So I'm mixing everything together, and with ground meat, you know you just want to see that color change and you want it to be completely cooked. So what I'm gonna do is allow this ground turkey to go ahead and cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll come back and check it out. After about 5 to 6 minutes, our ground turkey is looking good. Now, I still see a couple of pieces that are looking a little pinkish, and you know, I don't play that. I need everything to be fully cooked. There's also still moisture in that skillet, so I'm gonna let this thing cook for another 4 to 5 minutes. I am mixing everything in, but I want all the juices to be evaporated. So I'm gonna let it cook some more after mixing and breaking up those pieces, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what the final ground turkey looks like. It's been about 5 minutes, y'all, and take a look. My ground turkey is good to go. There's no more juices on the bottom. Everything has evaporated. This is smelling so good. This is our ground turkey. And now it's time for me to move on to the final vegetable, which is my broccoli stir fry mix. Y'all, I love convenience, and that's why I use my frozen vegetables. This mix includes some broccoli, Italian green beans, baby corn cobs, water chestnuts, carrots, and red peppers. So I just put everything right here from its frozen state right into this skillet. I'm adding the top for about 7 to 8 minutes, and let's go check in on those turkey wings. This is the final check on the turkey wings. They are completely done. The foil is coming off. I'm placing it right up underneath that broiler for 3 to 4 minutes, and let's get back to those veggies. The broccoli stir fry is looking good so far. It's starting to get tender, but it's definitely not where I want it to be. At this moment, sometimes I decide I want to put a little bit of that GQ sauce, but I decided not to do that this week. I'm just adding in my staple seasonings and a little bit of that Goya total seasoning, and that's it, y'all. That's all I'm adding for variety. Now, when I'm eating my meals, I might add a little bit of that GQ stir fry, but for now, we're gonna make it just full of flavor and seasoned nicely. I'm just mixing this thing up, making sure those seasonings are all in up and through this broccoli, because you don't want no bland vegetables. We already talked about that, okay? We're gonna cover it up for another 5 to 6 minutes, and we gotta go back and check on those turkey wings, y'all, because the turkey wings are complete and we don't want them to burn under that broiler. Y'all, they smell incredible, and I can already tell they are falling off the bone. All right. It's time for us to get those veggies off of that stove. Look at that. Evaporated moisture. Veggies are nicely sauteed. Y'all, they are complete. And now it's time for me to show you the final lineup for the week. Y'all, I got my fall off the bone turkey wings with those veggies on the side. Now, y'all know that looks good. I also have my pan-seared thin pork chops with my ground turkey crumbles. I have my sautéed cabbage with my stir-fry deluxe up in here. This ingredient meal prep is full of protein and it's full of fiber. I am so ready for this week. Did y'all see those turkey wings over there? Child, I can't wait to dig in, okay? All right. Now let's talk about these mix and match meals. Now I gotta say, y'all, lately I have truly been enjoying this ingredient prep way of meal prepping, because it gives me that flexibility and variety where I don't feel like I'm eating the same exact thing every single day, and I'm actually enjoying my meal prep. Okay, so for today's ingredient prep, y'all, I was thinking I can create bowls, dinner plates, lunch plates, wraps, salads, protein with veggie combinations. Y'all, I can do a lot. Now, y'all know I be mixing and matching. I was thinking I could pair the pork chops with the cabbage. I can serve the turkey wings along the broccoli stir fry, or I can even do like the ground turkey crumbles with the veggies. Or I could just mix different proteins with the sides depending on what mood I'm in. Now we've talked about the protein. Let's talk about the veggies just for a little bit. That cabbage is gonna help me increase my fiber intake, which supports hormonal health, digestion, gut health, overall wellness, and y'all already know that's what I'm focused on. And that broccoli stir fry with all of those veggies mixed up, y'all already know I love the fiber, I love the color, the nutrients, and the balance that it adds to my meals. Y'all, these meal preps are definitely simple meal preps, not complicated at all. You just have to figure out what works for you. Now, y'all may have noticed that I didn't include a starch this week. So what's going on, DeeDee? Nothing at all. I am still incorporating fiber-rich foods, whole grains, and all of that. So last night I cooked sweet potatoes for my family as a side, and I just cooked extra because I knew that I was going to use it this week for some of my meals. So that's the only reason why I didn't include a starch this week. y'all. It's really all about making this way of eating work for you. So if you have to make any adjustments whatsoever because it works better with your body, baby, just do it, okay? This is your journey. I'm sharing my journey just to hopefully help others that are on the same journey as well. And you can find some meal ideas, baby, that you can add to your kitchen. So if you saw anything today that you were thinking about making in your kitchen soon, y'all let me know down below. And you know, since I'm meal prepping, I want to know what's on your menu as well. Y'all, let's share, comment down below so that others can have ideas as well, because we're all in this together. My meal prep is complete. I'm gonna go clean up. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.